The woes of the Turkish economy, the crisis. Falling lira and spiraling inflation are taking a toll on the Turkish economy. The lira lost around 44% of its value to the US dollar in 2021, while the consumer price inflation surged to 48.7% in January, a 20-year high. However, after dropping to a record low of 18.4 in December, the lira recouped some of its losses and has been able to stay stable around 13.5 since the start of the year due to President Erdogan's scheme to bolster lira's deposits. The manufacturing output has been showing a downtrend as production in 9 industries has slowed down, with continuous reduction in total new orders since October 2020. The manufacturing PMI also dropped from 52.1 in December to 50.5 in January, which shows a sign of recession in the Turkish economy. Turkey's total gross external debt reached $453 billion in September 2021, compared to around $435 billion in September 2020, which is an increase of around $18 billion and helped prop up the lira. Recently, the EU slapped additional tariffs on Turkish steel exports in the range of 4.8% and 7.6%, that is expected to reduce the market share of Turkish exports and lower their profit margins. The lost foreign exchange as a result of additional anti-dumping tariffs also contributed to the woes of the Turkish economy. The response from government. Interest rates cut, contrary to the universal practice of raising interest rates. To contain rising inflation, President Erdogan prevented the Turkey's central bank from slashing interest rates. Instead, the rates were slashed by 500 base points between September through January, taking them down to 14% from 19%. The president even fired 3 central banks over the past months, who opposed his decision of cutting the interest rates. In January, however, the interest rates were kept unchanged. Deposit Protection Scheme. To stabilize the value of lira and bring down inflation, President Erdogan announced a deposit protection scheme in December 2021 that encouraged Turkish citizens to sell their foreign currency savings in exchange for liras, while also providing depositors the compensation in the case of losses due to lira depreciation. The scheme worked, and the lira quickly rallied to the 10 against the US dollar before settling at around 14, its current levels. The president has been of the opinion that high interest rates cause inflation, which make the rich richer and the poor poorer, so raising them would prove counterproductive. Turkish Treasury and Finance Minister Nurettin Nebati recently met with executives and investors in London and vowed to check dollarization, bring down inflation to single digits, and keep the Turkish lira stable. The minister also remarked that the inflation would start to decline from May 2022, reduce further to around 24% in December 2022, and would come down to single digits in mid-2023. The government puts forward a model that aims to overpower inflation by keeping browsing costs low to help drive up exports and invest in the country. The new model is also touted to stabilize the lira, increase production, reduce unemployment, and also solve Turkey's current account deficit problem. The government's deposit protection scheme has received an overwhelming response from the public, as around $34 billion or $25 billion have been deposited in the scheme so far. At the moment, the Turkish government considers inflation as the biggest challenge and vows to resolve it by keeping the exchange rate stable in the future. New financial package. As a part of the plan, we restore the economy. The Turkish government is also considering a new financial package to convert their gold holdings in their homes into liras. It is believed that the Turkish households have around 5,000 tons or 250 billion to 350 billion worth of gold stored in their homes as a part of their savings, and the government wants to bring a part of that into the banking system by introducing the new financial scheme. If the plan works, it would have broadened the monetary base, helping the Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey, CBRT, shore up the Turkish lira. Foreign borrowing plans. Foreign investors are keeping an eye on the Turkish government's foreign borrowing plan. The government plans to issue dollar-denominated sukuk, which will be its first issue since September. Turkey's €2 billion bond is due to be paid on February 21st, with another $1.1 billion domestic bond that is due on February 25th. According to Turkey's Treasury and Finance Minister, the government had recently held positive meetings with Israel, UAE, and Saudi Arabia for swap lines. Swap agreements. According to analysts, the central bank's foreign currency reserve rose by $5 billion to $6 billion in under a week, partly due to the bank's $4.7 billion currency swap accord with the UAE and partly due to the newly introduced 25% mandatory selling of foreign currency by exports to the bank. Low taxes on food items. To fight the rampant, President Erdogan reduced 7% in taxes on basic food items. This brought value-added tax on food items from 8% to 1%, which will likely allow food companies to slash prices of food prices by a similar percentage. Turkey's domestically produced smart electric car. TOG, Turkey's automobile joint venture group, made its international debut and unveiled its domestically produced electric car in Las Vegas at the Consumer Electronics Show CES. President Erdogan's electric vehicle manufacturing project is estimated to contribute around $50 billion to the Turkish economy, starting from 2022, when the mass production of the vehicle is planned to start. The vehicle export would help stabilize the economy and earn valuable foreign exchange for the country. Conclusion: the Turkish economy is facing rampant inflation that necessitated jacking up interest rates as dictated by conventional economic experts. However, the Turkish government slashed interest rates to allow cheap access to credit for driving up exports, production, and investment. Additional measures such as deposit protection schemes, lowering of taxes on food supplies, swap agreements with friendly countries, and foreign borrowing have helped keep the exchange rate stable of late. The government hopes to overcome inflation gradually, as it predicts that the rate would start declining from May to single digit in mid-2023.